Hello everyone who is watching this video. My name is Nathan Sieg and I will be kicking off my group's presentation on the target breach of 2013. The target breach of 2013 led to almost 70 million customers having their financial information stolen. So we're going to talk a little bit about that throughout this presentation and outline more of the attack for you and the activity that led to the breach, and evaluate operational guidance as well as offer other suggestions to help mitigate an attack strategy. This breach was believed to occur on November 27th. However, the attack was not discovered until December 13th. On December 15th, a forensics crew was put into place, and 3 days after that, the attack went public on Brian Krebs' blog, which we'll talk a little bit about that coming up. So after the attack was realized, several things were put into place to try to remedy the situation. Target began the task of notifying the shoppers about the breach. It is suspected that over 11 gigabytes of data was taken as a result of this breach.
Hey, my name is Ben Brantley, and today I'm going to cover the main aspects of the type of hacking attack that Target experienced in 2013. It all started around November 15th, 2013, as a result of attackers stealing credentials from Fazio Mechanical Services through an email phishing campaign, which led to the attackers gaining access into Target's internal network. From there, these hackers exploited web applications to attain deeper access into Target's network. The perpetrators are thought to have explored the internal network as a means of understanding the layout, enabling them to decide their next plan of action. A technique known as pass the hash was used to gain access to an NT hash token, allowing the hackers to appear as the administrator of Active Directory. Next, the hackers dug through Target's databases in search of credit card information, but they were unable to find any. Plan B was initiated at this point as the attackers uploaded card-stealing malware to a small portion of Target's cash registers. After testing proved this malware was functioning as they intended, the attackers installed this point-of-sale malware to most of the remaining cash registers. This allowed live collection of credit card information from real-time transactions. Once credit card data was collected, it was shared using File Transfer Protocol, or FTP, to a remote system. An estimated 40 million debit and credit card accounts were compromised in the short span between November 27th and December 15th, 2013. Finally, the hackers took the compromised card information and sold it on the digital black market. Ultimately, Target's major breach demonstrated the resourcefulness of their attackers, as well as how credentials stolen from a third-party vendor led to the start of such a massive breach.
Talk about the time frame for the Target breach. So, in May of 2013, Target rolled out its $1.6 million security detection tool, which they had been testing for several months. This tool was made by FireEye, who also provides services to the CIA and Pentagon. 6 months later, just a few days before Thanksgiving 2013, malware was installed on all the cashier stations across 1,797 U.S. stores. On Saturday, November 30th, the malware was all set up and storing the information on a Target server. Target's security team in Bangalore, which was created specifically to monitor Target's computer systems around the clock, received an alert. They notified the Minneapolis security team, who did nothing in response to the alert. On December 2nd, another version of the malware was installed to send the stored credit cards to the hackers. Again, alerts were sent and nothing was done. Target was notified of the breach on December 12th by the U.S. Department of Justice. 3 days later, Target was able to confirm that it had rid itself of the malware and determined that 40 million credit card numbers were stolen. According to FireEye, there were multiple alerts sent, and the system they had installed was capable of deleting malware as soon as it is detected, but Target's security team had turned that feature off. Target confirmed the breach on December 19th in a press release. The hackers left behind clues that led investigators to a couple of people in Russia, but nothing definitive that could lead to charges being pressed.
My name is Charles Williams, and I'm here to brief you on my part of the overview of the Target breach of 2013 as it pertains to security and prevention. Well, when we look at the breach and analyze what was going on, one of the things that became apparent is that Target primarily focused on satisfying the requirements that allow them to do business. Basically, the PCI DSS standards for financial transactions. And basically, there are like 12 requirements that are enrolled within these standards. And if you look at them, like I said, they do look like they encompass information security. But if you want to looking at it further, we can break down each of the 12 requirements. And if we dig a little deeper, we'll find that they're just really basic level settings that any system administrator would out the box go ahead and change their system and say, hey, look, we're going to change these things to prevent people from coming in. Things that PCI DSS requires are: one, that you got a firewall protecting your information system; two, that the default passwords are reset, meaning you can't use the factory out of the box passwords that come with the system naturally. Three was to protect the file or the data or the database that contains the cardholder's data, meaning the records that they keep on the individuals. The next thing is, or number four, is the encrypt the transmissions going in and out of the store. And naturally, all encryptions today that involve financial processing, it should be encrypted. So that is standard. Antivirus software, naturally you want to keep the bugs out and protect your data and your data systems and operations from becoming compromised. And you want to also develop secure systems and applications. Now, that's number six. Number seven encompasses on how you set up your files or who you give access to. And number seven deals with your need to know, as well as another thing is that for processing, a unique identifier for each transaction. And those things are you'll learn about in database administration. Restricting physical access to the cardholder data, meaning the physical security. You can't just walk into the door, plug in a USB, and download the data from the device itself. You want to track and monitor all your network resources and cardholder data for suspicious activity. Regular testing is number 11, and the last one is, and it falls right into this wheelhouse, the policies. Well, in my opinion, and looking at the history and narrative our group has done, the assumption is PCI DSS was it. This is, confirmed by SANS when I did the research. They're saying that that was the basic template that they used for the information system. However, but when they go into the preventing these things from happening, they identify a couple of key things. And I have one additional thing that I do want to add. Well, one is your testing. If you did your vulnerability testing, your risk assessment out the box, you would have probably found these vulnerabilities and have been able to patch them. So Target, it seems like they did not do a risk assessment on their system. The next thing is the configuration management, which is looking at how these contractors are going to be interfacing with their system to do HVAC. However, they did not restrict their access, meaning they could access looks like pretty much anything that they wanted to. I guess within limits, but it did give them access to other things, such as maybe uploading a program and having it take hold, be installed on the system, and no alerts, no alarms registered. The last thing that I really, really wanted to look at in the prevention is the system administrators themselves. Because as IT professionals, it is incumbent upon us to be kept abreast of all of the security vulnerabilities that may be or possibly able to attack your system. And that's where the risk assessment comes in. And see, they didn't look at the possible or probable attackers and what they could get to, which left their system open and vulnerable to this data breach.
So that's it. We appreciate you taking the time to check out our video. We hope you learned some things about the importance of security on an enterprise level. But there are some things from this that we can take away for our personal lives as well. So don't leave your home Wi-Fi without passwords. All right, thank you.